Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
Oh my
man. I seen that. I was like, this is weirdo behavior, man. I couldn't say anything, and nobody knew who I was talking about.
Let's do the show, Scott.
We gotta do the show before I say something that.
Yeah. Let's not. All right, this off the record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B, man. What's up, man?
Oh man. All right, hold on. Before we continue, I just want everybody to know that Scott's a jerk. And that's all I'm gonna say. But how you been, man? I'm good.
I've been good. So let me ask people out there, right? So Facebook and sometimes Instagram, but not so much Instagram, but Facebook can be a weird place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look, if you are watching and you want to just chime in on this, let us know, like, what's the weirdest thing that you've kind of like seen on Facebook? Like, like, okay, so I'll give you an instance, right? Mm-hmm. I always find that odd when somebody posts a picture of themselves in the hospital with like,
right?
You never like.
I think that's weirdo behavior. I agree.
Yeah.
I
like
agree.
all the tubes they'll be in the like
and their nose.
And they'll post that. So I think the hospital posts are always like a little weird. Now I get like if you just had a baby or something to that nature. Okay, I'm good with that. But like
if you got shot like 15 times and you like.
You got the bandage wounds.
Yeah,
like,
the blood, the little bit of blood going through the bandage.
Yeah. Those are a little weird, but people will put those on Facebook. Let me see what else is weird.
This I can promise y'all, we did not talk about this today, but people are going because there's a lot of weird stuff. Pictures from a funeral of the open casket. I think that's some of the most disrespectful things. If somebody got locked up, sharing the information, like sharing that they got locked up, like just certain things don't need to be online, right? And I feel like it's just weird, man. You kind of like sometimes you're putting people on Front Street when you don't have to.
Yeah, they definitely shot the "I Love Me" posts where they're recognizing themselves for helping somebody out.
Right.
But then putting somebody's business out in the street.
Yeah. Correct. And so I feel like when it comes to why are we here? Why are we here? We didn't record that. We missed homecoming. We're gonna get into homecoming because homecoming was super dope. It is homecoming season, but the NBA season started. NFL season's going on. The World Series is about to start. So we got a lot to talk about. But before we get into that, there's a lot of y'all weirdos out there that it's like, yo, come on, man. We have to my hat says Kings, man. Yeah. Well, what is happening right now? It's Wednesday. And but yeah, so there should be some etiquette in regards to like posting on. I think that's the next thing that they should do. Instead of like giving people like, warning, you should have like some sort of etiquette. Some posting etiquette on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, wherever else we could post some information.
I wonder if there's a guy out there
A guy or a guide?
Like a
guide?
guide, like post etiquette.
Man,
That would be it would be definitely interesting. But look,
I might do a video for that for posting etiquette.
We
All
gotta
right.
figure it out. Well, let's get to it. Yesterday, started NBA season. LeBron and Bronny.
Yeah.
First father-son duo to share a basketball court together in professional ranks.
Yeah, man. So I know a lot of people don't like it, right? A lot of people are like, well, he wouldn't be there if LeBron wasn't his father. Well, that's true, but who cares? And I don't think he played half bad.
No, I think you're right, right? So I am with the vast majority of people, and I do feel like that he is there because of his father. But I also feel like that a lot of people in life have opportunities because of their father. So it's
absolutely
really no different. As a parent, I think you would agree, like you're always going to create the best opportunity for your child.
Right.
And I mean, that's what he did. I mean, a lot of people don't like it, but I think he's gotten to the point to where he doesn't have to seek the approval of anybody. Like he can do whatever he wants. Like he's done everything. And like shout out to him for getting to that place to where it's like, look, I don't care. This is like my goal. This is my dream. If I've got to move mountains, and he didn't really. So
anybody else could have drafted Bronny.
Anybody else could have drafted Bronny, and I'm not going to sit there and say. I think when we did our 300 episode, I was being a little funny by saying that he was trash, but he's not. He's an NBA caliber player. He is an NBA caliber player. Now, would he have had the opportunity to actually get in the game yesterday? More than likely not, if his last name wasn't James. But he's proven that he can at least play in the league.
Right. And I figured he could anyway. I'm trying to stay away from the comments right now, but they kind of pulling me. So I'll say this. Bronny, I think we don't know. I think he has enough potential to be an all-star, possibly. I mean, you don't have those genes and not be at least an all-star. Now, some may say, well, some calls say Jordan is better than Bron, which who cares? I don't care about that conversation. And Jordan's genes didn't provide his sons the opportunity to play in the NBA. But I'd say this: if Jordan really wanted his sons to play in the NBA, his sons would have played in the NBA.
Absolutely.
Whether they sucked or not, they now.
So I don't think they sucked. I think that,
they were bad.
So one thing that I think is left out, and you kind of see it with Bronny James, is he doesn't have the same physique as his father.
Right.
I do personally feel that, was he like 6'1", maybe 6'2", give or take. I think when you're 6'2", your road to the NBA is a lot tougher. Regardless if he has his father's genes, is as tougher as a guard. Right. I think for LeBron, what made him, it's not what made him great, but the fact that he was able to be dominant at his size. Like LeBron, like nobody has seen anything like LeBron when he came into the NBA. I mean, there may have been other players, but for somebody to have his height, to have his weight, and to really be able to do and to have his speed at that size hadn't been seen. I mean, and I think that that's, aside from his talent and his basketball IQ and everything else that came along with it, it made it a lot easier. Okay. Now, me personally, I think you would probably agree with this, Bryce, and I've heard you say this before, Bryce is going to be the one that, he may not make it to play with LeBron, but he's got, he's got more. I see more LeBron in him than I do in Bronny.
Right. All right. So G's right. Marcus Jordan averaged. So for his career at UCF, he was there for 3 years. He averaged 12.3 points, 2.9 rebounds, 2.7 assists on 39% shooting. So his freshman year, he averaged 8. Not his freshman year. I don't know if it was his freshman year or he transferred, but he was there for 3 years. So his first year there, he was 8 points. Then he went to 15, then went to 13.7.
So for me, this is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
In college, that's pretty good. Now,
yeah,
considering that he's Michael Jordan's son, I'm sure the expectations were a little bit higher.
right.
Well, I know the expectations were a lot higher, but I mean, 13 points in college or 15 points in college is pretty good.
So here's the thing. Though. This was Marcus Jordan. I don't think this is his oldest son, right? I think this is his second. I forget. I don't quote me. But does he have the pressure of Bronny? And this is why I say that, because Jordan isn't a social media type of person, right? When Jordan was coming up, it wasn't social media. His son 09 to 2012, you had social media, but right now is like, LeBron is like the man on social media. He's all of this stuff. He has all of this social media pressure. And I mean, that trickles down to Bronny. So would you think that Bronny had more pressure or Marcus Jordan?
Marcus Jordan. I want to tell you why.
Wow.
So Bronny had a lot of pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now Bronny can kind of breathe. Because, like, for the most part, like, his college career, his college career is done, right?
Right.
He's in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
He's got on the court. He's made millions and millions of dollars under his own accord, right? You know what I mean? Like, he's not still living off of – I mean, he's still under LeBron's umbrella to an extent.
Right.
But if he averages 2 points for one season, decides that he doesn't want to play in the NBA ever again, and goes and takes over the family business, he's still won. The expectations that Bronny is going to be the next LeBron are not there. Like, people just – because people –
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But I think people have settled on the fact that if he's going to have a long-lasting NBA career, he's going to have to be a defensive player. I don't think that people are expecting him to be an all-star. They're not expecting him to carry a team, just because, like, all that, we already went through all that during the draft process. Now, if he morphs and becomes bigger than that, and he's able to do some of the things that people are wanting him to do or aspire to do, it's going to be just to his advantage.
No, I tend to agree. Well, yeah, I do, because at this point, I mean, you made all this money at a time. Now, again, if NIL was around when Marcus Jordan was playing ball, would he have reaped the benefits of NIL? Probably. I don't know, right? Because I think Bronny had talent. He was an All-American in high school. He had the situation going into his freshman year in college. So he was going to make that money, and he did make the money. But, like, you look at somebody like Shedeur. Shedeur is actually really good, right? Marcus Jordan, I don't think – I'll say this. And right now we're playing if woulda, coulda, shoulda game. And, I mean, well, that's what we're supposed to do anyway. If Bronny doesn't have that heart condition and he doesn't have go into cardiac arrest, I believe that he would have had a better freshman year.
So I can agree with that, right? Mm-hmm. And I think most people can agree with that. And the fact that he was a USC playing out of position didn't help. But what added the pressure to Bronny was most people felt like, okay, you had this situation, you should come back for your sophomore season. What added the pressure to him was a lot of people didn't feel like he was ready to play at the NBA level, but he put that pressure him and his father put that pressure on themselves. And I mean, to their credit, they didn't care what anybody said. Like
Right.
you know, Bronny didn't crack. He was just like, look, this is what I want to do. This is the decision. Bron was like, yeah. I mean, they played it to an extent perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, hey, man, we'll see. We'll see what his career looks like. I'm rooting for him, but yeah. Lastly, and it's not even doesn't have anything to do with LeBron or Bronny. I'm glad we have that storyline. And I'm just hoping that this NBA season is better than last NBA season. Last year, to me, and I've stated it before, I felt like last year's season was boring. It was a lot of bad basketball, and it was like, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this.
So it's already off to a rough start. So look, now I'm just going to like talk about something because, you know, just to recap the Lakers game, Anthony Davis played phenomenal last night. I think he was the next best storyline.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that storyline of LeBron and his son kind of stole the show. The load management is going to be the death of the NBA. Like right now, we've got Joel Embiid. He's out, and Paul George, and just Kawhi Leonard. He's going to be out. Which I mean, there's no surprise. But the first game of the season, people have questions about Joel Embiid, and I know he came out. It might have been yesterday or today, and said that he's only going to play back-to-back games, and that he's going to try to be ready for the playoffs. The fact is that people don't want to hear that. You know,
exactly, especially with the amount of money that they're spending on those tickets.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of Philadelphia 76ers, I know Tyrese Maxey, I mean, he's box office. He's going to be great. But people still want to see Paul George, Joel Embiid, and they want to see Tyrese Maxey. And they want to see the Philadelphia 76ers as a contender in the East. Like, they feel like that this team is constructed to where they get like battle against Boston. That's what people want to see. They don't want to hear that Joel Embiid is only going to play 39 games. Like, I want to tell you, I want to put this in perspective, right? I heard an interesting stat today. They said Joel Embiid, I want to say it might have been 550 games that he's played in his NBA career. He's missed 380.
God. Wait. So he's eligible to play 500 and what?
He's played like a little over like 500 games.
Okay.
But he's missed 380.
Damn.
Like last year, he played 39 games.
Embiid? He won the MVP the year before. So here's the thing. So they got the rule. So he wasn't all NBA last year.
I'm not sure.
He couldn't have been because he didn't play enough games.
So they say he played 39 games last year.
Or did he? Damn. Or did he miss 39 games?
I think he played 39 games.
Well, that ain't good. And to play 39 games and still get hurt in the playoffs is wild. You know, so I don't know, man. It's crazy when, and I hate to bring Jordan back up, but Jordan was a 40-year-old basketball player playing 82 games.
Absolutely.
Like, and it's like, damn, dog. Like, come on. It's so all right. Well,
I heard something today, and they were talking about Joel Embiid, and they said that
that's crazy.
He's had every injury except for a stroke and a heart attack.
Damn. Ooh, that's rough. That's I mean, you don't want to wish that on nobody. So I'm just, but Embiid, you got to play. Embiid has to play. He has to play because that's what we want to see. We want to see Embiid play. We want to see Kawhi play. Well, at this point, Kawhi should just retire. But we want to see Paul. We want to see the stars, man. Basketball is driven by the stars. It's totally different than football. Because Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson could not play, and people are still going to watch.
Right.
Now, you may not have the same amount of people, but you're gonna have those people are gonna watch, and so let's stay in the NFL, right? Because I know some people want to, everybody know that the 49ers play the Cowboys this week, and I personally was trying to stay away from it because last time you saw either of those teams, they both got their asses whooped. Cowboys worse than the 49ers. 49ers didn't really get their ass. But whatever. They lost. We both lost. And the 49ers have a lot of injuries. Cowboys have injuries too. Both teams, right? So, I mean, you're missing stars. Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Brandon Ayuk. We don't know if Deebo Samuel is going to play. Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I know I'm probably missing somebody. Dre Greenlaw. So you're missing some all pros, right? I can almost guarantee you that's still going to be one of the highest rated games of the season.
Absolutely. I think everybody is looking forward to it. I mean, again, it's no secret. I'm a Niners fan. You're a Cowboys fan, and we probably won't talk after the show until the game is over, injury or not. I mean, it's war week. But so we're going to get into the 49ers.
Okay.
I am getting concerned with all the injuries.
Yeah, he brought up the concerned word.
But what I'm more concerned about is even with all those players, it doesn't look right. As a fan of the team and somebody that watches them, it's more than just the injuries. So I'm not just going to rest my hat on, okay, we're hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it necessarily looks right if everybody's back. It's like we've lost not really the identity, but the swag that we have. Now, what I'm hoping for is hopefully we can come down there, we can run the football, and hopefully you won't be able to stop the football, stop the run. That's what I hope happens this game.
Okay. But what do you think is going to happen? We heard what you hope. What do you think is going to happen?
I think we can beat you guys. I mean, there's nothing else to really say. I will hope that you wouldn't say that we're going to beat y'all. I think you think the Cowboys are going to beat us.
So I know some people think that I have a bias and I don't like to speak the truth, but I do speak the truth. I think that we now have a better opportunity to beat you guys because you don't have Christian McCaffrey. And here's the thing, to be as honest as possible, Christian McCaffrey has not really killed us in the last couple times we played you guys. They've been close games. Well, not the one last year. That one was pretty much over by halftime. But those playoff games were really close, and we at the time we contained the run. I think that we have to figure out a way to stop the run, and it hasn't been done a majority of the season. Teams don't, aside from Detroit and Baltimore, teams don't really run the ball that well. I ain't gonna say they don't run the ball that well, but those two teams are physical up front, and they'll run right downhill at you. Baltimore a little bit more finesse than Detroit, but I feel like Jordan Mason, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
And you guys had another kid that ran against Seattle, but they don't scare me, right? They're not David Montgomery or Derrick Henry or Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't. They're not guys that necessarily scare me. I've told you this plenty of times. Your O-line doesn't scare me. I don't think your O-line is as good as Detroit's or Baltimore's, right? But I feel like scheme-wise, Kyle Shanahan can scheme us up, especially since, Dan Quinn's not there. Dan Quinn struggles against those type of offenses. But at this moment right now, we struggle against all offenses. You know, we had a few games where we played well against the run. I do feel like we can win the game. I think CD and Dak have to be on the same page. Like it has to be now. I mean, they had a bye week. There shouldn't be no excuse. I mean, we're just gonna see. I think these are two hobbled teams. But I will say this:
desperately, both of
they
them
both need a win.
They need a win,
right? And I think the Cowboys more than the 49ers. And yes, if the 49ers lose this game, they'll be 3-5. But I feel like because of the division that they're in, is not that big of a deal. Because 2 years ago, 2022, is when Christian McCaffrey got there, right? You guys were 3-5.
Yeah.
Right. So I think because of the division you're in, it's not as big of a deal as it is for the Cowboys. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think our division is any different than your division, right? I feel like the Commanders, they're playing.
The East is better than the NFC West this year, and I'll be critical of the NFC East at times, but I feel like the Eagles, yeah, they're playing. I mean, they're playing pretty good ball. I mean,
the Eagles.
The record. Well, you got to look at the record. I mean, you look at the Commanders.
They're 4-2, right? They're 4-2.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at
5-2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like the Seahawks, the Rams, or the Cardinals are playing better than the Eagles or the Commanders.
I'm gonna tell you this: I saw the Eagles play. I mean, I saw the Seahawks play last Sunday. The Seahawks are definitely playing better than than the Eagles. And yes, the Eagles won. They beat the Giants last week, but I've watched I think 3 or 4 Eagles games. I watched them against the Saints, against the Browns, the Bucks, and it was another game I watched where I was just like.
But let's be fair though, they weren't all the way healthy either. I mean, now they've got AJ Brown back, they got Devontae Smith.
Falcons was the other one.
Yeah, with the Falcons, I mean,
they gave the game away. Yeah. But they weren't playing well. Here's the thing: yes, they could have won that game if Saquon caught that pass. But why are you putting Saquon in that position anyway? Run the damn ball, right? So it's been questionable coaching as well.
Yeah. So I mean, really, they're a play away from really being 5-1, and I get it, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So we got to get to all these receiver trades. We got to talk that. All right. So Devontae Adams to the Jets. Do they now have what they need? Because they took a really bad loss. I believe that was on Sunday night
against the Steelers. Well, they got what they're gonna get. I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, they need O-line help. That's what they really need. I think they needed O-line help more than they needed receiver help. Although they did need receiver help, they needed someone opposite Garrett Wilson, and it's very difficult to get O-line help in the middle of the season. So yes, they got what they could get. Will they make another move? Possibly, but I mean, it's a good move. I think it's a good move. We'll see what happens. They have a favorable schedule in the next 5 or 6 games. You have to take advantage.
So what I found interesting, okay, they fired Robert Saleh.
Mm-hmm.
The defenses look terrible because they got rid of their best defensive guy in the building. So the defense has definitely regressed with Robert Saleh being out.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found really interesting is right now he is consulting for the Patriots. I mean, not the Patriots, but the Packers.
Who? Robert Saleh?
Yeah, Robert Saleh.
That's good for the Packers. Yeah. I mean, if look, yeah, people can say what he want about him as a head coach. He's a defensive. The Jets' defense has not been the problem.
No,
they have not been the problem. I mean, that's going to be good for the Green Bay Packers.
Well, I think it was interesting. You know, Matt LaFleur, him and they're both good friends from
49ers.
Yeah, 49er days. Mm-hmm. But I would like to be a fly on the wall to hear what they really think about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
or those conversations that they're
oh yeah, like the real like the real conversations, like yeah, absolutely. So somebody needs to bug the LaFleur's office and just because listen, he's a coach killer.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers is a coach killer.
Or the real opinion that he has on Nathaniel Hackett.
Oh, I mean, well, you know what my opinion is of Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, and I'm thinking with LaFleur too, though.
Yeah, he didn't like Nathaniel Hackett. He didn't want him there. So just think about this for a second. And Aaron Rodgers is a coach killer. You look at Mike McCarthy, got him to a Super Bowl, got him fired, right? Whether because he was hurt or not, he got Mike McCarthy fired. Then who came in there after Mike McCarthy? It was Matt LaFleur, who changed his whole philosophy to appease Aaron Rodgers. And yes, Aaron Rodgers won 2 MVPs, but they got him out of there. And look at how Jordan Love looks in Matt LaFleur, because this ain't the same offense,
right?
That Aaron Rodgers. So if they ran Matt LaFleur's offense, who's to say they wouldn't have won a Super Bowl, right? We don't know, but I whatever. Then you get to New York, you get hurt, you come back, and 5 games in, the coach gets fired. And again, I'm not defending. Robert Saleh didn't have a great record, but he also didn't have it. It's not like he came into a gold mine. He came into the Jets, who are the Jets are just not a well-run organization. I'll leave it at that. I'll be as polite as possible. The Jets are not a well-run organization. So Robert Saleh wasn't really set up for success, right? And now he got him fired. You can say he didn't say anything, but he didn't stop him from getting fired either.
Oh no, I mean, this is all on Aaron Rodgers, because at the end of the day, they brought in everybody that you wanted.
Every single person.
Like let's not forget all those guys, Lazard, Randall Cobb, all those guys that were there the first year. So then now they do what they had to do. They get you Devontae Adams. Again, I think you kind of touched on it. They did need a lot of offensive line help. I do think that they'll be better, but we'll just have to see what the results are.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, we're going to see. Do you have a winner?
No.
He's so lazy.
I am. But I do have something that I want to get into. Before we talk about Amari Cooper to Buffalo.
Well, I wasn't going to talk about Amari Cooper to Buffalo. I don't
care. I think that's going to help him. But the Cleveland Browns, right? Deshaun.
Stop. Sorry. I didn't mean to say it like that.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
Okay, so I did have a winner, but I've been debating on whether or not I wanted to make this my winner, because I wanted to get your thoughts, right? So Deshaun Watson, we've been hyper critical about everything that he's got going on, right?
Absolutely.
I think I've been on the record saying that it might be the worst trade in NFL history. We know that he's supposed to get his money. I mean, he's got his guaranteed money. We know that he hasn't been playing great. But in a season, and I believe was his Achilles, or
he ruptured his Achilles.
You
can see it through his sock.
Went down, and the fans booed. Now,
some booed and some cheered. That he was hurt.
Now, for me personally, and this is why this is controversial, is let's just remove everything that Deshaun Watson has done as off the field. Allegedly. Let's remove his quarterback play. It is a person that just suffered a season-ending injury. Regardless of how you feel about him and I'm not going to tell people that they shouldn't feel a certain way because it's well deserved. I think it's classless to cheer and to boo somebody when they're hurt like that. That's just me personally. Now, a lot of people will say to me, go to hell, Scott. Everything that he's done, he deserves it. And you have no right to take up for Deshaun Watson. A lot of people, his teammates that spoke up for him, received a lot of backlash this week, right? You know, it was Myles Garrett,
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. A couple of others spoke up for him, and a lot of people didn't really take too kind to that. What are your thoughts?
Okay. I'm gonna need it in a moment. So so I'll say this. The people that say go to hell, Scott, I'm swinging on them just for telling you to go to hell. All right? I got your back. I got your back.
Appreciate that.
So that's the first thing. Because they can go to hell, damn it. All right, now. But in all seriousness, those people that tried to give back, first of all, booing and cheering for someone that gets hurt, you gutless, right? You a POS. I don't want to curse. Children watch, right? I feel like they're hypocrites, right? And they're full of it because here's the thing. Let's keep on the table. Let's keep on the table all the things that were alleged that Deshaun Watson did. Let's just keep that all on the table. If Deshaun Watson was playing how he played when he was in Houston, they wouldn't give a damn. They wouldn't care. They wouldn't care. You know how I know they wouldn't care? Because a few weeks earlier, Deshaun Watson played a pretty decent game. He threw a couple touchdowns. He ran a touchdown or something like that, and they were cheering. They were cheering for him. The one game they won, Deshaun Watson played that whole game. They were cheering for him. When they played the Giants and he ran a touchdown in, they were cheering for him. You know, so to me, that whole all that stuff he did on the field, those things he's alleged to doing, he should have got hurt. Is BS. Because if the Browns were 4 or 5-2 and Deshaun Watson was cooking, they wouldn't have been doing that. They would have been like, oh man, our season is over. That's what they would have been saying. It wouldn't have been, yay, glad he's hurt. So keep, like we've heard it and people say it all the time, keep the same energy, right? And because he's not playing well, and because he had those allegations, they want to boo and cheer that he's hurt. And to me is wrong. You don't, that is just something that you just don't do.
So let me ask you this, because a couple of people have said this, that they weren't necessarily cheering that he got hurt, but they were cheering that now they don't have to be subjected to him playing.
Because a lot of people, that he got hurt.
Yeah, so a lot of people felt that he was only out there because of his contract. Like, had it been any other quarterback that was playing as horrible as he was, the team would have probably moved on or benched him. So the fact that he got hurt and a season ending, at least the team could move on and see what Jameis Winston or some of the other guys, I think Dorian Thompson is his name.
DTR.
Yeah, DTR. So I do got a follow-up question. So this is season ending. We both agree that he was playing bad. Do you think that Deshaun Watson's played his last game in the NFL?
No. He'll be back next season. Whether he's playing or not, we don't know. But I don't think so. I mean,
so what? This is the third year of that contract.
He has 2 years left after this.
So I guess for the next 2 years, it's not that bad.
He's getting like $72 million a year the next 2 years. So I mean, So here's the thing: the money is if they're gonna, I would personally draft a quarterback if I was Cleveland. We to me, Cleveland is just not a because here's the thing: Deshaun Watson wasn't the only one playing back, and another thing, Deshaun Watson was throwing some passes to these guys that they were just dropping.
Well, the offensive line is just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, like it's
offensive
easy.
line
It's easy to blame Deshaun Watson because he's an easy target because he has that contract. But you got receivers dropping open passes. You got the line playing terribly. You didn't have your best running back. So now Nick Chubb comes back, and then Deshaun Watson is hurt. It's almost like this team is cursed, right? Because again, they have potential. And I mean, they caught lightning in the bottle last year with Flacco. I don't think they're gonna catch lightning in the bottle this time. But you never know. It's still a long season, and I don't know what their record is, but I mean, yeah, the Browns are their season over. Yeah. They 1-6, but they can save face, right? But the fans, because this conversation was about the fans have to do better, right? And I know that's probably a fight that a player is not really gonna win, but it was classless. It was, and they probably like, what do we got to lose? We ain't winning games anyway. But nah, I mean, and the football guys don't like that crap. I can tell you that now. They might go 1-16 or whatever. Yeah, 1-16. That'd be crazy. I don't think they're that bad, but you never know.
So let me ask you this.
What's up?
The Kansas City Chiefs made a move today.
Yes.
They have DeAndre Hopkins. I felt like it was a great move.
Great move?
They need help.
They did. I wouldn't say great because I do think that DeAndre Hopkins is past his prime. I would say it's a very good move, and it was a needed move. I actually like the move because, I wouldn't be surprised if they make another receiver move.
I'm hearing the rumbles. And if they make that move coupled with this move,
they're going to win the Super Bowl. and that person, you want to say the person?
I'll say it. Cooper Kupp has been linked to possibly going to the Chiefs. But see, this is the difference with Cooper Kupp. There are other teams with just as much interest. Right now, the Commanders is struck out with Ayuk, struck out with Adams. Mm-hmm. They desperately want to get somebody on the other side of the clear. You got the Steelers, who struck out on Adams, struck out on Ayuk, and desperately feel like that they need another receiver next to Pickens. I've heard talks that even Minnesota is starting to think that they are in contention and wouldn't mind getting another weapon up there.
Do they need more weapons?
They're talking about they like their trio with Naylor. They got Addison and they got Jefferson, but putting Kupp into that system could be potentially problematic. I mean, it's teams that are not just going to let Cooper Kupp just walk to the Chiefs without giving up some sort of like bargain.
Right. Yeah, you're gonna have to give up some draft capital because the Rams have none. So they're trying to rebuild their draft capital. And so before we get into the homecoming talk and things of that nature, I do want to bring up the Commanders. Damn. All right. Because I don't want to be that guy, right? But I'm going to be that guy.
Okay.
The Commanders are 5-2, playing good football, right? And I here's the thing. If Jaden Daniels is playing this weekend, because I want to see this game. If
If
Jaden Daniels is playing this game this weekend against the Bears, I will be at the game. Whether you there with me, Scott, I don't know.
So look. If we can get tickets to that game,
We could get tickets.
I think we need to be there. I want to see my guy Caleb.
Oh, that's your guy now? Oh, wait a minute. Wait, what?
Yeah.
You can't just. That's not. No. We gonna have. No, that's.
What's my guy Caleb? But you know what though? I like Daniels.
I do too.
I watched that Carolina Commander game, and it was a very ugly game. Not. I mean, it was a good win for the Commanders. It was some of the worst football I've subjected my eyes to with Carolina. I like what the Commanders are doing. I mean, I don't know if it's because I've just always been accustomed to Daniel Snyder and the environment, the coach, Dan Quinn. I like what he's doing. And it's getting difficult. I'll probably never be a Commanders fan, but I do live in the house with 3 other Commander fans. And it's hard to not root for them or hope well wishes on them. So.
All right, let me finish cooking. Cause I got the pot. I'm just getting the ingredients in there. So they are playing well, considering the team to be. It's because it's funny that we don't hear this year. Because for the last 2 years, as a Cowboys fan, all I've heard was they ain't beat no winning teams, even though we beat winning teams, right? Because just the last 2 years, I'm gonna just run down some teams that we beat that had winning records when we played them. All right, the Bengals, the Vikings twice, the Buccaneers, the Eagles, Detroit. That's just 5 teams right there. I could keep on going, but I won't. What I will do is say who the Commanders beat this year. The Browns, the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Giants, and the Panthers. 5 of the worst teams in the NFL. Who did they lose to? Tampa Bay, Baltimore. 2 teams that, if I'm not mistaken, lead their division or are tied for their division, but they both have winning records, right? Now, again, it's just funny to me that I watch these shows and I've heard Jaden Daniels for MVP. I've heard Commanders to the Super Bowl. Like, first of all, to skip Rookie of the Year and just go to MVP is just nasty work, right? So, I mean, it's just crazy.
So I will agree, right? It has been a bit excessive, but they haven't been there in so long,
and I get that. So I don't want to come off. I don't want to come off as a hater. I don't want to come off as a hater. But when do we start talking about the teams that they have? So they play the Bears. They play the Bears this weekend. If they beat the Bears, and I pray to God that Jaden, because I want to go to this game so bad, Scotty. I want to go to this game. I'm not going to that game if Jaden Daniels not going to play, because they're going to get their asses whooped. Okay,
Marcus Mariota.
Scott, listen to me. They're going to get their asses whooped if the Bears are not going to come here to play with them. And if you think Caleb Williams doesn't hear all that Jaden Daniels talk after he put in back-to-back 300-yard games, 4 touchdowns. Listen to me when I tell you. Everybody that's saying, that Jaden Daniels is the Rookie of the Year, you keep smoking whatever you smoking, because Caleb Williams is coming. He ain't playing around. Watch.
But I've been telling people this.
Scott, Jaden Daniels better play in this damn game. I swear to we're gonna be at the game. Listen,
I've been telling
we're gonna
people
go
about
through all
Caleb.
we're gonna go through all the tailgates. We're going through all the tailgates, and I'm interviewing Commander fans and Bear fans.
So look, I'm there. We have to go to this game now.
Let me see what time this game is. Let me see what this.
It's got to be a 1:30 game.
I mean, they just played at 4 o'clock. Against this sorry
1:30 game.
1 o'clock. Listen,
1 o'clock game.
1 o'clock game. Oh, it's a 4:20. Listen, it's a 4:30 game. Sunday. Bears are coming to coming to. It's not even FedEx Field. Whatever field stadium that is.
I'm about to look up the tickets. I think
Jaden Daniels has to play. I'm telling y'all now, if Jaden Daniels don't play,
we probably have to holler at Corey. I know
he's absolutely. So off the record, if Jaden Daniels play, because I ain't subjecting myself.
We'll definitely look into it.
And we're gonna see. But with that being said, I want to see that matchup. I want to see how because here's the thing. The Bears secondary is a whole lot better than the Commanders secondary, right? It's gonna be one of those games. I think that so here's the thing, because I've seen Dan Quinn as a coach multiple years. If you get a lead on him this ball game, his teams tend to not be able to come back until otherwise proven. I mean, he's a front runner. As a coordinator, he's a dog. I've just watched the Cowboys for the last 3 years. Dan Quinn is a front runner, and it's okay. It's not a bad thing. It's just you better get a lead and look at the Commanders. The games that they won, they had a lead. You know, you get down some scores. It's rough sledding. It's just in his DNA as a coach. He's a damn good coach. Don't get me wrong. Right now, he's in a running for Coach of the Year. Right now, Jaden Daniels. Right now, as if the season ended today, which it doesn't. If the season ended today, Dan Quinn will probably be second or third in Coach of the Year, and Jaden Daniels will be the Rookie of the Year, and they will have some other people that will win some other awards.
So let me ask you something before we get out of here.
Oh, we got a little bit more. We got to talk VSU, but go ahead.
Okay, let's talk VSU.
No. What was your question?
I was going to ask you, Russell Wilson. Do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers made the right decision?
It's chess, not checkers. And the reason why I say that is because Russell Wilson, not Russell Wilson, but Justin Fields was traded, and he had a conditional. He had to reach a certain amount of snaps to in order for it to be a 4th round pick. So if he gets to 51% of the snaps for the season, he over 51% of the snaps, he the Bears get a 4th round pick. If he doesn't, they get a 6th round pick. So I think right now is a good move anyway.
It's the right time.
Yeah, and you know, I think that Justin Fields still going to play some this year.
Yeah, because when Russell Wilson gets hurt, I mean, he's right there.
Right.
He didn't play bad. It wasn't a bad showing. All right, VSU homecoming. Let's talk about that.
Man, one of the best homecoming. So it's homecoming season, as we all know. If you've gone to a HBCU, you know, early October to mid-November or early November, October to November is homecoming season, and we are in the midst of homecoming season. We just had our homecoming last week or a week and a half ago, and it was amazing. It was amazing to see some of the people we haven't seen. Not necessarily you, but it was my 20th anniversary of graduating undergrad.
This homecoming was the best homecoming.
It's been a while. It's one of the best in a while.
It's the best one. I'll go out on a limb and say this past homecoming was the best homecoming I've ever been to.
That you've ever been to
at Virginia State.
So I don't know. There was some other good homecomings. This one, I think the one after COVID, no, not after COVID, the 2022 homecoming was really good. We lost the game. This one just everything seemed to just mesh well. Virginia State won the game. The tailgates were on point. Xavier had a game, and we went to that game. It was everything just seemed to like mesh well. Do I have some complaints? Yeah, of course, but nothing to where it ruined the experience of homecoming. And you get to see, it was a lot. So it was a lot of celebrations. It was the Woo-Woo's 50th anniversary. Again, you have people that graduated their 20-year anniversary from 2004. It was our 25th. Technically, it was our 25th year graduating from high school, but it was now 25 years ago we were freshmen in college. That would sound crazy. Right. That sounds crazy, but it was all those things that kind of added on to the experience this year at homecoming. So I will talk about, and we're gonna have some young gentlemen on next week. We'll post an interview. We're gonna interview these guys. So I share what was done at homecoming. So the Sunday, and I would say I think all alumni should do this once a year, whether it's at homecoming or whenever. So what I did was I went to Williams Hall and knocked on my old freshman room, my dorm room, and just gifted those guys. Had some conversations with them, with the major, how was it, how they were doing in their first couple of months in school, because we didn't have anything like that, So shout out to Charles, because Charles was with me at that time. Y'all may know him from the Yoke 'em Up challenge, but nah. And so they were gifted an Off the Record shirt, the stickers that y'all see right there, Amazon gift card, and this was Charles' idea. It was a charger, like a portable charger. You just put whatever. He's a techie guy, and he was like, I'm getting it from. So I was like, that was dope. So they appreciated it. They, we knocked on the door. They thought they was in trouble. I was like, nah, man, y'all good. So
what room were you in?
I was in 215. But I'll say this. The guys that were in 215 this year missed out. And I explained. I knocked on the door and nobody was there. Right? So I went a couple doors down because Charles was like, well, let's go to somebody random. And I was like, I thought that was dope too. Because you can do that too. I think going to your actual dorm room is good. I waited till Sunday because I figured Friday they weren't going to be, because everything that was going on. Saturday, unless you got there first thing in the morning, they probably wasn't going to be in the room because of all the festivities. So I was like, Sunday around 10, between 10 and 12, you should be in the room, you would think. Right. They probably was in the cab, but whatever, it is what it is. Those gentlemen that'll be on here next week, and it's gonna be, they're gonna have some of their friends, because I think I already told them, like, hey man, and whoever wants to join y'all, they could join y'all. But they were excited, man, and it was cool to see, because I was like, what if we had something like that? If somebody that graduated we got there in 99, somebody that graduated in 89 came and said, or shoot, 79, you know what I'm saying, came and was like, just
in any year, the way
yeah. And so
yeah, when you did that, I was like, dang, it was unfortunate I had to get on the road.
Right.
I had to come back from my sister party. But
right.
Man, that's hella dope. But you're right, though. It is, I don't know. I was in 119. So next year I want to try to make it my business to get 119. I know a couple of our friends did it last year.
Right.
Went back. But that's dope, man. So I look forward to seeing them. But definitely the best homecoming I've experienced.
Definitely as a whole for the whole weekend from Friday or even during the week. 'Cause I heard the concert was pretty good, and the fish fry was good. The day party was good. It was just a good atmosphere to be around, and it was just dope events.
So you know what made this one better? I think somebody gave me this gem, and I thought it was a pretty good gem. They said homecoming is about finding where your tribe is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of times you catch up with all your friends, and
Mm-hmm.
I say for the most part, our group, like we are already like keep in touch
Right.
fairly well, right?
Right.
So there's no surprises to where like most of these guys we've probably talked to 3 or 4 times a weekend, whatever,
Right.
or whatever. So
Yeah.
there ain't no surprises. It's like, okay, just we're all getting up. This was the first year that it was legitimately like people that I ran into. It was like, dang, I haven't seen this person in 20 years.
Mhm.
And it just
A few people.
yeah, that was just like, wow, yo, where has this person been? Or,
Mhm.
wow, I don't
And
even see this person on.
that's the point of homecoming, right?
Right.
That's the
And,
point, yeah.
and that's what I felt like this year was. I ran into a lot of people that I just hadn't seen
Right.
in just like years, and that's what made it more memorable.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. So I mean, so whatever school you go to, whether I think this weekend Union's homecoming, I know Norfolk State's homecoming is this weekend. A&T, I mean Central's is this weekend. So Janiyah is at homecoming. I may pop up depending on how I feel. Crash their homecoming. That's what I want to do next year too. I just want to crash a whole bunch of homecomings, but. We'll see. Last week was Clark Atlanta's homecoming while I was in Atlanta, but I didn't get to see how their homecoming was, mainly because shout out to Don Shula, man. That's my nephew, if you didn't even know. And he's starting safety for Notre Dame, and he's a damn good ball player. I will tell you that right now. If y'all not watching Notre Dame's defense, you might want to start watching Notre Dame games. Their defense is amazing, but they played in Atlanta. They played Georgia Tech. He had a pick six, first ever touchdown in college. But it was also Clark Atlanta's homecoming. Atlanta, hey man, I've been all over trying to
Right.
do whatever it is I can as far as with the show, with myself. That sounded crazy. Not
Yeah.
to further myself in I guess a media. Yo, let's get out of here. Yo, oh my God, that sounded crazy. But anyway, it's been homecoming season, man. So if you've attended an HBCU, make sure you show up for your homecoming, man, because everybody has their story. Everybody, trust me, when least you expect it, people want to know where you've been, what you've been up to, and that can change your whole attitude and could strive you past homecoming and to do whatever it is that you want to do, just because they give you that motivation. And you're like, damn, you doing this, you doing that. So go to your homecomings, man, whatever school it is, even if it's Union and they only have like 2 or 3 dorms, but still, people have to live in those dorms, and you still have memories from your time there. So do that. Go to your homecoming. All right. Shit. All right. Is it time to go?
Yes, right.
All right. We're getting up. It's late. All right. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B.
We out of here.
Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.